Hello, my name is Talitha. I live on Gundungurra land in Goulburn, New South Wales, and I study on Ngunnawal land in Canberra. These are some ways that I connect to country and place. Because I live rurally, I do feel like my connection to country and place is really ingrained in my everyday life, quite simply. To enhance my connection, I definitely try to be a little bit more intentional with my reflection on country, whether that's as simple as looking out the window in the morning and reflecting on how it makes me feel and how lucky I am to live in a place like this. I also love to spend time outside every now and then, long enough so that everything kind of becomes quiet and you feel like you're a part of the environment rather than witnessing the environment. At work as well, I love to, when I get the chance, take students outside of the classroom so that we can sit on country and just take some time of reflection about their day, and I find that it does help settle their nervous systems and get them prepared for learning, so I do think it's a good thing to do quite regularly. Both Gundungurra and Ngunnawal land are very close to me and quite dear to me, and are both very creative spaces for me, whether that's me working, learning, or just living.
Art, for me, has always been one of the ways that I connect with the world. Emotionally and visually, it just makes sense to me. Sometimes I like to paint what I see. These are Canberra bells. They're my favourite flower. They're a flower which are native to Canberra. I think they're just so beautiful. They look like little bells. And I just love capturing the beauty that I find within my own art. I love living in a place which is so connected to the land. This is my backyard and it's such a beautiful place that I can come out and visit when in between assignments, whenever I'm bored, if I just want to do art. It's a place where I can really reconnect back with the world, and I love that it's just so close to me. It's in my own home. Other times I take pictures or I collect the flowers and I like to put them within my scrapbook so they can be stored forever in the memory. And some other times I like to just sit here or lay here and turn off all my music and just listen to the birds and the crickets and the cicadas. It's really nice. This is the park that I like to come to right across the road from my house. It's really pretty and I can see the mountains. It's so beautiful watching these mountains, the same mountains that a couple of years ago were on fire that we almost had to evacuate from in the Canberra fires of 2020. But it's really beautiful and the sky always is stunning and I just like being out here.
To me, connection to place is all about appreciating where I am, even if it's not exactly where I want to be. So taking a minute at maybe a bus stop in the rain after a long day of work, even though I want to be at home, just appreciating that there is something to be gained from everywhere that you are, and just looking around and appreciating the things that are there. And I think that an exhibition at a gallery is a really great way to stop for a minute in a place that might be mundane and take a minute to appreciate what's really around, and stand for a moment and spend some time rather than rushing off to the next thing and the next thing. Yeah, I think sitting with place and really intentionally taking some time to appreciate what you have is the most important.
My favourite way to connect to a place, and the one I feel is most meaningful to me, that offers the deepest connection, is through exploration. First, physical connection. This generally means going for a walk around the neighbourhood and exploring new natural areas around me, going for a hike. I like heading out to the Tidbinbilla Nature Reserve, to see Square Rock, or behind the suburb of Taylor, to the outlook at One Tree Hill. or just heading to my local park to sit at a bench and absorb my surroundings. My local is Yarrabee Pond, so there are a lot of natural wonders for me to appreciate, including looking out into the serene water, especially during sunset, when all the bright kind of pinks and purples and oranges are reflected in the water. Watching the ducks and black swans as they swim by, listening to the whistle and the rustle of the leaves when the breeze sweeps past, or hearing the crunch of gravel as someone walks by as well. I find that my connection to place, particularly to country, is emphasised when I just sit and experience nature for what it is. I love quietly existing in a space and meditating, doing some breath work to ground myself, and really feeling open to the place I am in. The physical exploration of place allows me to also mentally and emotionally connect as I marvel at everything that kind of goes on around me. It's a reminder that no matter where I am in life, no matter what I'm feeling in the moment or what I have going on at the time, that life will keep on moving. And if I don't stop to appreciate all that I have and all that is offered to me, especially the kind of beauty of nature that is given to us so freely as humans, if I don't appreciate these things while I can, then I will have lived a life of waste, and that's not something that I want.
Hi, my name is Harriet. I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Primary Education with a specialisation in creative arts. I want to share with you some of the ways I connect with place and how nature shaped my life and inspires my creativity. Walking in nature has always been a way for me to ground myself, whether it's a walk through a forest, along a trail, or by the beach. It's like the earth has a way of resetting my mind and helping me reconnect with myself. Meditating in nature has taken this connection deeper. When I sit in a quiet place, surrounded by trees, or listen to the waves, it creates a space where I can feel more connected and centered. Nature provides peace and stillness that allows me to reflect and recharge. Another way I connect with place is by nurturing the plants in my garden. I've always found it enjoyable looking after a plant and watching it grow. It's a beautiful reminder that growth takes time and patience. I like to cook with nature from my garden, like herbs, fruit, vegetables, and edible flowers. And this takes lots of time and preparation. I like to prepare meals using what nature has provided to nourish my family and I, and it's very rewarding. Making art with nature is another important connection for me. Whether it's using materials I find outside, like leaves, twigs, or rocks from the ground, or simply drawing inspiration from the shapes, colours, and patterns I observe in nature. I like to bring elements of nature into my artworks. One of my favourite places is the beach at Hawke's Nest. Standing on the sand, watching the waves, the smell of the salt air, and it makes me feel at peace. I also love visiting the lookouts and trails in the Blue Mountains, as my grandparents live there. There's something about the vast views that puts everything into perspective. The stillness of the mountains, cliffs, and valleys remind me of the importance of slowing down and really seeing the world around me. We often forget how essential simple things are, like the sun, water, and oxygen. These elements of nature sustain us and help us live. I think about this every day, how everything we need to survive comes from the natural world, and how connected we are to it without even thinking about it. For me, connecting with a place is more than just physical spaces. It's about feeling deeply connected in the natural world, understanding that we are all part of the same living system. Whether through art, meditation, walking, or cooking, nature continues to inspire me and teach me in countless ways. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Cassie, and I want to share how I connect with place. For me, it's all about the small things, the little details that some might overlook. I've always been drawn to nature, whether it's a quiet spot in the woods, like a hike, or just sitting by a river and taking in the sounds around me. I love focusing on the tiniest details, like the rustle of leaves, the gentle movements of water, or the sounds of birds around. These are the moments where I feel most connected to place and the environment around me. I've found that really paying attention to these small moments, I can see things a little bit differently. almost as if unlocking a little hidden world. It's about looking past the grand views and looking in on the subtle textures of the ground and the patterns of the leaves. I use it as a tool to connect and capture those moments, whether through sketching, painting, or sometimes just observing for inspiration. When I work, I find that the more I observe, the more I want to reflect those details in my art, and it's in those quiet moments when connecting to place I feel grounded, and I think that's what really makes my connection to place.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Gillies. I'm an arts education student at the University of Canberra. My connection to place has been complicated throughout my life. I was born in Saskatchewan in Canada, and I immigrated to Australia when I was about 13 years old. It's a very weird age to be 13, so I was very much stressing trying to figure out where I stand as an immigrant in Australia. One of the things that really helped me connect to place was all the sounds around me, especially all the birds here in Australia. My very first morning that I woke up in Australia, I was awoken very rudely by sulfur-crested cockatoos screeching, squawking, so very rude awakening. However, it's something I've grown very used to and something I love hearing. I've also learned that you can befriend magpies and they will actually remember your face. Another way that I connect just with people around me and the wildlife is through food. So I'll go sit out, I'll go feed the magpies so they remember my face and they'll be my friends. And I also connect with people through food a lot. A way to someone's heart is through their stomach, as they say. So a big connection for me is definitely food. And also listening to stories from the locals. I have a lot of friends who are First Nations, and they have a lot of stories to tell, and I love hearing them. And I guess similarly, the birds are telling us stories as well. Not that we can understand what they're saying, but I'm sure they have a lot to say. So those are kind of the ways I connect with place. I sit, I meditate, I listen, and just think, reflect, and yeah, connect with place, and people, and food, and the locals. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susanna. I'm a second year architecture student at UC, and I'm so excited to be going on this trip to Finland. I just want to talk quickly about the ways that I connect to place. So the main ways I connect to place, I think, is through listening and observing. Also walking on the land or being in the Australian bush really helps me connect to where I am. For example, like one of the workshops we went to Mount Ainslie, which really helped me immerse myself in the environment, and I felt it was a good way to connect, to feel a part of it almost. I think the physical connection is really important. And then also when we were there, we were listening to stories about the land, about the water, about the trees, and how it's all connected as one, which I think was very helpful. I think listening and hearing from past generations really makes it real and really is very interesting and really makes me aware of where I am and how important it is to groups of people. So I think that is a very strong way of how I connect. Also using materials, so drawing, sketching, painting, like, because of what I'm looking at, I'm not only copying, but I'm like listening, I'm hearing, I'm feeling around me, like, and then being able to put that on a canvas or on a piece of paper really helps me ground me when I'm in on the land. So yeah, I think that's my way of connecting to nature, connecting to place, is being there and being in the environment.
Hi, my name is Millie Ratcliffe and I'm a student at the University of Canberra studying a Bachelor of Primary Education and specialising in creative arts. I thought I would take my video today to show you the view from where I am. I'm at the top of the Mount Stromlo Observatory, which is around Western Creek in Canberra, which is where I live, and there is a beautiful view up here and I always love to come and have a look. As you can see behind me, it's always got a beautiful view. If you head even higher up, it's even nicer up there, and this is one of my favourite places to come when I really want to connect with nature. I come from a really outdoorsy family. We love hiking and bike riding and just spending time in nature, and this is one of our favourite spots to come. And then mine personally, even if I'm just driving up and sitting in my car and having a look outside, or actually coming out and spending some time in nature, it's always really beautiful up here. I feel like it really encaptures the Australian bush that we have and how blessed we are with the nature we are surrounded by here in Canberra and in the ACT. I think in the ACT, wherever you go, you're surrounded by it, and it's really beautiful. But yeah, I thought I would show you this beautiful scene behind me of Australian bush and the connection to nature we can have here in Canberra. Yeah.